furnished rentals and the issues and stuff that come up with that. So that's the idea there. We had a handful of people that do furnished rentals. Most of them are on the smaller side of portfolios. I didn't put together the exact number, but if I recollect correctly, it's somewhere, I think the average was around, of the people that did furnished rentals was around 50 furnished rentals. So it seemed like obviously that was much smaller than the unfurnished single family numbers. And by the way, I might point out that number, the 272 units and the median 235, that's pretty consistent with national too, with the numbers NARPM National uses. So I thought that was interesting. The other question was, what towns does your company service? Again, same idea. If there are a lot of people that are either focusing on going into a new area and also trying to use that information, because I know some people just want to manage on the east side and other people just in the northwest and that type of thing. So we're also trying to get that filled so we can work together again to help each other out. So if you know Rich handles stuff on the east side and you don't want any of that, but you handle stuff maybe in the northwest and he doesn't want any of that, you know, maybe there's opportunity for both of you to work together on that type of thing. So that's where we were going at there. Same thing on the question of if you service Tucson, what areas of town does your company service? Same thing, just trying to get a feel for who's doing what where, so we can point maybe people that don't want to do something in a certain area into somebody that does. Software, we asked about software and what company you use. Again, the same idea behind that is just trying to figure out, you know, would there be a case for a users group, perhaps, of a particular software or whatnot. That was pretty much a lot of different things. Again, going back to the 19, Promos, we had 5 users, Propertyware 3, Yardi 1, Appfolio 6, Tenant File 1, Property Boss 1, and Buildium 1. So if nothing else, it looks like a lot of people are using a lot of different things out there. Promos and Appfolio look like the biggest, followed by Propertyware. So again, we're just trying to get a feel for, is there a big enough group where we can maybe get a forum together or training or classes or whatever on any particular one. And then the last question was, in what communities outside of Tucson are you expanding your business? Again, the same idea was behind that, is how do we help each other? If I know at one of our board meetings, we were talking actually about Sahuarita, and that topic came up, and some of us, I happen to be one of them, don't go down to Sahuarita, and I learned that some of the other folks do. Of course, Deborah's down near that area, Jenny's in that area, stuff like that. So the same idea, we're trying to use this to help us as a whole. Like I said, there's no secret agenda or anything behind any of this. That's what we're trying to use it for. So that was the goal. In future, what we might do is revise some of these questions and maybe add to them so we can get a more targeted response, trying to get the more details on the answer we're actually seeking, whereas some of these were kind of broad and it was difficult to kind of quantify and quantify. So that's kind of just the thoughts behind it, the results. Any questions on any of that stuff, or any additions or suggestions or anything like that from anybody?
What was the total units?
272 times 19. Yeah, we had 19 surveys and the average was 272. So whatever that math turns out to be, what, 20, call it, times 250. So yeah, what, 10,000?
Right, are you calculating it?
No.
Anybody?
20 times 250.
Right. So yeah, so like 5,000. And obviously that's 19 surveys, which isn't the entire membership either. So, because I think we have how many active members now? Dues paid? 30 something? 32? 32? Okay. So we got about 2/3 of that were there that day for the response. So that's all I got. I just want to give you guys a little feedback on the results and, like I said, kind of what we were trying to do with that. And thanks for your time.
Thank you, Steve. Eddie.
I don't really have anything to report. As treasurer, you got money in the bank, and yeah, I didn't bring the exact amount, but I know we got just over $8,000 in the bank. So.
And his Hawaii trip is $79.99.
to the joint CAI NARPM luncheon. It'll be fun. And we're gonna release the program.
And just to make sure that no one is confused, it is held here. It is not our normal meeting. It is by CAI. There will be a fee for lunch. Correct?
It's $14.
Okay, so there will be a fee that you will need to pay for lunch. So I just don't want you confused that it's not get here and, you know, people get embarrassed. Jenny. Before you go, Jenny, the membership booklet, how are we?
We'll have it for the next meeting.
Okay.
Let the record.
That's our record.
Okay, there has been several bills that passed the legislature. Of course, the legislature adjourned April 20th. All of these that I'm about to bring up, because there are a couple that are specific interest to property management, they will actually be law as of July 20th. A couple of these are probably I'm gonna hear like great cries of relief. One is the city sales tax. Residential rental properties, this bill will prevent a city or town from imposing or increasing a sales tax on residential renters unless approved by the municipal voters. So you pretty much can guess that nobody's gonna approve that one. And it's retroactive, it goes back to December 31st of 2010. So that one was a great one to hear about. Another one that I know I've had issues with in my business is the municipal water charges and responsibility issue. The water company cannot hold the owner responsible for water service that the tenant walked out on. And because they were holding up things where they wouldn't turn on water for a new tenant until that old bill was handled. So that is again something that our legislature was able to get through for us. Yes?
On that note, was there any discussion of how, like for example, I know Oro Valley Water is one of those municipalities that, you know, wants to get paid no matter what. But also, you know, if you agree to their landlord utility agreement, would that make this null and void, meaning would they then, I think they're gonna be able to hold the landlord accountable if they,
That I don't know.
is that,
Unless they now, because of this legislation, they may not be able to utilize those landlord agreements now, and they may have to adjust them, yes.
well, that was part two of the question.
Yeah.
I mean, so then are they gonna, are these municipalities gonna eliminate these landlord agreements, or?
That I don't know. And if anybody has any insight into that, that would be a great topic for discussion, because I know we've had issues. Oro Valley is one. Marana is another one. Again, it's a lot of the, especially the smaller ones. And Tucson Water started enforcing it. I know it had been in their landlord agreements for years, but probably because the city's in financial trouble, we ran into a few situations where they were starting to enforce that. So that might be something that if it slips through the cracks this time, we might need to, for the next legislative session, get together something and get it presented, and get someone to sponsor it for us. I
It's
think that,
important to share with everybody that a big part of why this got passed was because of property managers who drove it at AAR, and AAR fought the battle. So, you know, we can pat ourselves on the back, so to speak, that our profession really got into something meaty and got it done.
yeah.
One bill is won't allow anyone besides the homeowner to apply for water, and Oro Valley was thinking about doing the same policy. Will this prevent that?
Yeah, because part of this, because I'm just reading the synopsis that I got from the Department of Real Estate, prohibits municipalities from refusing service on the basis of unpaid water and wastewater rates to anyone but the person who resided at the property and received the service, allows property owners and immediate family members to voluntarily contract with the city for water and wastewater services and provide payment. So that would probably address that.
They don't make it volunteer, they say that the company, if you're a tenant in Glendale, and Oro Valley, if you have a tenant in Glendale, they have to send the owner of the bill, the owner pays it, and then the owner bill pays the bill to the tenant.
Really?
And Oro Valley-
That may be part of what this was supposed to address.
Dealt with that.
Yeah.
We actually just had that happen, but we can't remember what water company it was. I think it was Metro Water. We evicted the tenant and they left the bill, and the new tenant, even with the copy release, couldn't get it turned on in her name. Has to be in the owner's name for 13 months before anybody else can have service.
Whoa. Well, July 20th, that you may not have to wait that 13 months. They may be something they could fight. I don't know. That'll be probably a test case. But those were two that really kind of jumped out at me and how they affect property managers. I mean, there was some legislation about bed bugs. You know, the tenant informing you in writing if there's something that is not fit or habitable about a property. They can't just call you or move out and then say, oh, by the way, the place was trash, so I'm not going to stay there. The city sales tax, and then there was something about commercial leases, which I don't know if anybody here does any commercial business, but there was some information on that. And there was a whole bunch of other general real estate type legislation. Some of it is good. There was some information on homeowners associations, what they can and can't do as far as signs, charging for signs, and all that sort of stuff. Anybody who would like to, who doesn't get the emails from Mary Utley with the department, because that's where I got this, just give me a call and I'll be more than happy to forward a copy of it to you. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Jerry. Richard.
On the affiliates, we do have one new member who didn't show up today, is Arizona Exterminating. And I do want to thank Mark for showing up and being a guest. I think everybody's introduced you that you're here. I did like hearing the testimonials for Wayne and Deb from the property managers. I thought that was really great. And the directories are getting put together. That'll be going out. And then we did start our new thing, which is our technical tips. Wayne did the first one. Larry Fry's going to be doing the one today. I did send out an email to everybody. They were the only people that responded to me on it. So we will be looking for next meetings, technical tips and stuff. So if somebody's interested in doing that, definitely want to get a hold of me. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Larry Fry from Carpet One to discuss his technical tips for today.
Hi, I'm Larry Fry from Carpet One. You guys are too serious. Other than Eddie not knowing how much money he has, I found out two things last week about Osama bin Laden. They named a drink after him, and it's 2 splashes in a shot of water. Or 2 shots in a splash of water, excuse me. And the last thing on his Facebook, it says, "I'll be right back, someone's knocking at the door." So anyway, talking about carpet, and glad you guys ate, because it's pretty disgusting. Richard cleaned these for me. Half of them. So we're talking about nylon versus non-nylon carpets, and why you should use nylon versus non-nylon. And the difference in pricing, at least with us, is not much. So just take a hypothetical of $1,000. If you spent $1,000 for this carpet for so many yards in the house, you would spend about $11.50 for this one. Now if you look at this one, after it's cleaned, it still is flat and ugly. And Richard will verify that. You cannot get the carpets to come back to its natural look.
But it was flat and ugly to begin with.
Well, now it's even flat and more ugly.
Well, what you're not seeing there, though, is like the sides
Yeah,
that don't get
I'll
walked
pass
out.
this around if everybody wants to look at it, if they have the nerve to hold it. Anyway, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
How flat and ugly that is? And this is dirty. Flat and ugly. So here's a nylon carpet. The dirty one on this side and the clean one on the right. Now these carpets are not high-end carpets by any means. This is what we call renter's grade. So you can see the one on the right, or my right,